Hey, how's it going? This is Tim Brown, and this lesson is on the elements of a persuasive website. Each of these items that I'm going to share with you will be paired with a visual on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. You need to actually add these to your website, so perhaps you take 4 hours on a Saturday to get these done, or you provide this checklist to your web designer to make sure each of these gets done. But some will require extra effort, like the video suggestion or photos of your team working, etc. So here are some things that have actually increased the amount of leads that we've seen on people's websites. 1, trust factors around the point of conversion. 2, using a 2-minute explainer video to reduce friction and tell your company story or your customer story. Clear and heavy duty call to actions that are visually prominent. Cutting down on only the most essential elements on your homepage. Creating a call to action that goes above the footer at the bottom of every interior page. Call to actions that show halfway down your blog posts. A call to action button in the header right next to the menu. Friendly, real images from around the office and work sites to humanize the website. Better boiling down what makes you special, so making very clear, unique value propositions, and they need to be benefit driven and laser focused on your ideal customer. Also, we believe in remarketing the shit out of everyone that comes to your site, especially niche visitors for the segment they belong to. So actually showing ads around the web for them. A prominent telephone number and telling them what happens next after they contact you. Making your process dead simple, particularly clarifying the 1, 2, 3 steps that it takes to work with your company. Now we're gonna go through some things that go beyond just the visuals of your website. Some of this is gonna talk about messaging and boiling your messaging down into a clear, simple story that makes a prospect crave doing business with you. And then we're gonna also talk about some design elements to make it look nice and utilize principles that lead to an aesthetic site. Because if it looks high-end, people will assume your services are high-end too. So you need to get your core messaging right. We use a framework called StoryBrand. We'll link in the description. Get a couple people from your company in the same room, and actually it will take a half an hour, but you'll end up with a succinct, clear, customer-focused story, and then work those messages into all of your marketing materials. You may want to do multiple versions for your different verticals. Let's say if you had roofing or siding or storm damage or retail. You want to identify elements from the script that you can use to communicate in your trust factors, your badges, your case studies, and just into the overall layout of your website. Now boil the messages into customer-centric headlines and cut out things that don't actually focus on the customer or that will distract from the story. A big principle in persuasion is mirroring, helping your ideal prospect imagine themselves working with you with savvy photos and persuasive headlines. Help them imagine themselves working with you. That's really all I should say, because the specifics will really depend on your situation. What you want is like smiling photos of people that are ideal customers so that other ideal customers feel at home. So you'll want to use presumptive language when we start our project, that kind of thing. Remember this mantra: people like us do things like this. Seth Godin talks about this. It's how to help people enroll in what you're doing. This means showing people that actually look like your ideal customers. What does that exact moment look like when your actual customers feel the pain relief of working with you? Can you get a picture of that? If you make that the first image someone sees when they land on the page, the point of all this is to get the person to identify, relate, and want to experience. You really want to make sure that you're not a commodity. I can't teach you everything that I've learned about persuasive web design and conversion rate in the past 10 years in one video, but what I can do is sum up some of the remaining concepts that I believe lead to high converting and high-end looking websites. A couple of the things are humor, showing personality on your website. It will humanize your company, and people like to work with people they like, know, and trust. So use a little bit of humor. Use white space. Don't clog everything up above the fold. Let people unravel the story, and you kind of need to learn to subtract things so it's not messy in order to give the emphasis to the things that are there. So some basics on color theory. Blue is the most trusted color. Black is associated with luxury. White is medical. But having a bright and friendly color palette that allows your web designers some range is great for giving meaning to different elements and creating an approachable brand. Look at Microsoft and Google for examples of great color palettes with range. So limited options. You've heard of analysis paralysis. Just remember, if you confuse, you'll lose. Anytime you want to try to have so many options on the site, clarify, what is this page about? What am I supposed to be doing here? The bigger the company, the harder this can be, but that's an art. And you can sell more roofs if you understand it. So now that your site is looking super nice, let's go through the copy. Copy is huge. So here are 10 principles of persuasion to utilize in your website copy. 1, use the word you. Nothing is sweeter in the English language. In that vein, talk like you speak. Stop being overly formal. And make sure your copy is customer obsessed, not about your company as much as it is about the person you're serving. People get bored and check out if you just talk about you. Think about it as if you were at a party. Ask questions, be interested, help solve their problem. Capitalize on FOMO, or fear of missing out. Use bulleted lists or number lists. I am a notorious scanner, and chances are that half the people that are watching this video are also, going through, scrubbing through things. You got no time. So people that are strapped for time are often more likely to buy anyways. So help those people with bulleted numbered lists. Support your calls to action with a little explainer text. So this is what you can expect next. What happens when I submit a contact form? Am I going to get called immediately? Giving people the 1, 2, 3 of your sales process before they submit a contact form will alleviate anxiety and allow them to imagine themselves doing it at the same time. That's a great principle. Help them imagine themselves doing it. Go for benefit-driven rather than feature-driven content. Assume every possible customer has one song going in their head constantly. Me, 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 me. Go down your homepage copy and circle every feature in red and every benefit in blue. So, we're talking about details like that people aren't as focused on as you are. Use scarcity. This is a little harder in lead generation, as it's hard to say, we have one slot for kickoff in March. We're only offering this deal for 5 more roofs. It just comes off as a little bit needy, and you might shoot yourself in the foot. But perhaps, we are taking 5 more roofs in this particular area. We are out here today. We are in your area now. We are able to come quickly. It could be a pretty powerful way. Just talk about you're in their area. Consistency. So you really need to make sure that the messaging on your website and on your landing pages lines up with the messaging in your ads if you're putting ads to these pages. It also goes throughout the site as well. If it says get your roof as fast as possible on this page, but on this page it says we're 3 weeks out. That might be at odds. So you really need to make sure that there's consistency in the copy. Make sure that it flows and feels consistent from page to page somewhat regularly, because I know you rewrite different pages, and sometimes you've got old copy from when you were a 2-person company and now you're a 10-person company, right? Have other people on your team review the copy, have them look through it, and your smartest people, and make sure that your salespeople aren't contradicting the website either. And authority. Use testimonials, and we really suggest using testimonials that almost look like reviews, that have an image of the person, a 5-star icon, and where the review was left. So it doesn't feel as much like a testimonial as it does a review. It feels like third-party credibility, and they can go elsewhere and check it out. So I always have our customers, and I suggest you do it as well, have them leave it on a real platform that people care about. Give a few stats. So people respond to numbers. So use those stats and other clear-cut why you should believe me type things. The principle of liking, writing conversationally, use humor and that humanity. Like we said, if you can make somebody laugh 3 times on your homepage or landing page, don't you think they'll be more likely to work with you? Absolutely, because people want to work with people that they like, know, and trust, like I mentioned before. Show a little personality. You are likable. You just aren't showing your humanity on your website. And cut out the fluff and be concise. Cut through the noise and challenge them Be a painkiller, not a vitamin. Be the challenger. Write it out with 300 words and then figure out how to say it in 100 words. It's a lot easier to be concise when you know exactly who you are, who your ideal customer is, and you can talk directly to them and the challenges that you know they face. The checklist attached to this lesson is a little bit longer, but try to do at least one real action on your website for each item before checking it off. This isn't hypothetical. This is how your website will get you more business. You've likely got some work to do, but join us for the third lesson and the next video.